welcome you to this briefing. We appreciate the fact that you took out time and joined us here. The briefing is about sharing with you progress on the digital transformation journey which the province is embarking upon. In his State of the Province address 2 months ago, the Premier made this pronouncement about this digital transformation journey. And he has deemed it necessary to then make this briefing to come and share with you the progress so far, especially in view of the transition that we are experiencing as a province with regard to this digital transformation journey. If any of you knew about Group Wise, which is what we used to use as public servants in the province, that is now part of history. We are no longer using Group Wise. I've been looking at some messages from social media that are so interesting. One of them says, digital migration from GroupWise to Outlook. Your parents are seeing flames in Northwest Provincial government offices. So it's just from social media. So at this stage, you are welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are therefore going to invite the Premier of the Northwest Province, Kagiso Lazarus Mokgosi, to then provide an address which outlines this journey that we are talking about. Let's welcome him.
Thank you very much, Ntate Setswampung, our Chief Director responsible for communications in the province, as our Program Director, members of the Executive Council, the Director General, our GITO in the province, our partners, Microsoft. Thank you very much for attending this important briefing, and you members of the media. We have convened this media briefing today to account to the people of the Northwest Province on the progress we have made in implementing our provincial digital transformation strategy recently approved by the Executive Council. This strategy is not merely a technology program, it is a central pillar of our broader agenda to build a capable, ethical, and developmental state, supported by modern systems, efficient process, and strengthened accountability. It is about fundamentally transforming the way government works, both internally and in how it serves its citizens, business, and institutions across the province. Before I proceed, allow me to acknowledge our strategic partners who are present with us today. We welcome leadership from Microsoft South Africa, who have supported the province in delivering key components of this digital transformation journey. In particular, we wish to extend our sincere congratulations to the newly appointed Chief Executive Officer of Microsoft South Africa, Mr. Vukani Mkati, on your recent appointment. We look forward to working closely with you in advancing digital transformation, innovation, enterprise development, and inclusive economic participation within the Northwest Province. During the State of the Province address in February 2026, we made a clear and deliberate commitment to the people of this province that we will modernize government systems, strengthen administrative capability, and transition towards a digitally enabled provincial administration. We further indicated that from the 1st of April 2026, key systems will transit into operation. Today, we can confirm that this commitment has been delivered. The systems that were announced are now live and operational, and we have now entered the next critical phase, which is the adoption, onboarding, and institutionalization phase, which will ensure that these systems are embedded into the daily functioning of government. At the center of this transformation is the Smart Gov platform, which is now live across the Northwest Provincial Government as a centralized digital service led by the Office of the Premier. Smart Gov represents a fundamental shift from fragmented, manual, and paper-based processes towards a standardized, integrated, and automated administrative environment across all the departments. During the month of April, all departments are undergoing a structured onboarding program, which includes a comprehensive training of officials across CFO's environments and operational unit, as well as alignment and configuration of departmental processes within the platform. This includes a managed transition from manual workflows to digital processes. This phased and structured approach ensures that the transition is controlled, supported, and sustainable without disrupting provision of services. As departments complete onboarding, they will progressively transition into full utilization of the platform, and manual processes will be systematically discontinued. The Smart Gov platform will automate key administrative and procurement processes, which among others include e-submissions, quotations, and procurement workflows, internal approval processes, invoice tracking, and payment visibility, as well as contract management and compliance and monitoring. The implementation of Smart Gov will result in improved efficiency and standardization across government processes. It will also enhance transparency in procurement and financial management. It will also reduce delays and faster turnaround times, accountability and auditability of transactions, and a more accessible and predictable system for businesses. For business, particularly small, medium, and emerging enterprises, this will represent a significant step towards creating a fair, transparent, and equitable environment for participation in government opportunities. This is not just a system going live, it is a transition towards a new way of working in government. In parallel to administrative automation, we have also operationalized the monitoring and evaluation capability within the Office of the Premier, implemented through the Smart Gov platform. This capability will enable the province to progressively integrate reporting across to all the provincial departments, 6 state-owned entities, and all 12 municipalities. Program directors, through this system, the Office of the Premier will increasingly have access to real-time performance data through interactive dashboards covering strategic programs and service delivery initiatives across the province. This will enable continuous monitoring of strategic projects, strengthen oversight across all spheres within the province, early identification of risk and underperformance, data-driven decision-making, as well as improved coordination of interventions where required. This marks a fundamental shift from traditional reporting to real-time integrated and proactive governance. This transformation is built on a fundamental shift in the province digital foundation, a decisive move away from outdated legacy system towards a modern, secure, and future-ready digital environment. We have successfully migrated from the legacy group-wise platform to Microsoft 365, ushering in a new era of a connected, collaborative, and mobile digital workplace. Our public servants are now equipped with tools that will enable them to work more efficiently and respond more effectively to the needs of our people. In parallel, we have transitioned our infrastructure to the Microsoft Azure cloud platform, positioning the province on a scalable, resilient, and high-performance digital backbone, capable of supporting both current demands and future growth. At the same time, we have strengthened our cybersecurity posture through the deployment of advanced endpoint security capabilities, ensuring that government system data and digital devices are protected against evolving cyber threats. Together, these initiatives marks a clear departure from legacy constraints and establish a secure, modern, and future-ready digital government environment in the Northwest Province. We are no longer operating on legacy system. We are now operating on a modern digital foundation built for the future. Of critical importance is to emphasize that all these initiatives have been implemented through State Information Technology Agency, SITA, framework agreements, ensuring full compliance with national ICT governance, procurement, and regulatory frameworks. Beyond systems and infrastructure, this transformation is also about people, skills development, and economic opportunity. Through our partnership with Microsoft, the province will unlock structured training programs for government employees, enterprise development opportunities for local ICT businesses and SMMEs, digital skills development programs for young people across the province. These initiatives will be delivered through Microsoft corporate social investment and partner development programs and will be provided at no cost to the province. This will ensure that our digital transformation agenda contributes directly to economic inclusion, innovation, and participation in the digital economy. As we consolidate these digital capabilities within government, the next phase of this transformation will focus on the expansion of broadband infrastructure across the province that has been concluded and will soon be rolled out. This is a critical component of our broader vision to build a smart province where digital services, connectivity, and innovation are accessible to all. The province will be implementing a provincial broadband program which will provide a unified and integrated connectivity network across different spheres of government and public institutions such as schools, healthcare care centers, and facilities, including our Tushong health centers. Through this, we are extending digital transformation beyond government systems and into our communities, households, and businesses across the province. If systems are the engine of digital government, then broadband is the network that connects our people to that engine. What we are announcing today is not simply the rollout of systems. We are announcing the establishment of a Northwest digital government platform as a foundational step towards building a smart province, and a digitally enabled economy. An ecosystem that integrates infrastructure, systems, data, connectivity, and security into a single coherent environment. This platform will enable a government that will be efficient in its operations, which will be accountable in its delivery, which will also be responsive to the needs of our people. In conclusion, I would like to acknowledge the leadership of the Office of the Premier, particularly the Office of GITO, as well as our partners, Microsoft, for their contribution to this milestone. The Northwest Provincial Government is not only envisioning a digital future, we are actively building it, we are implementing it, and we are delivering it. We are building a government that works smarter, that moves faster, and that serves its people better. And in doing so, we are laying the foundation for a smart province, a province that is connected, that is inclusive, and ready for the digital economy. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Premier. Thank you so much. We are ready. We are implementing. We are doing it. At this stage, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to invite the CEO from Microsoft just to make an input as well in this journey where he is partnering with the Northwest Province. CEO?
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Vugani Mngati. I am the CEO of Microsoft in South Africa. Ntate Premier, thank you so much for partnering with Microsoft. The Northwest Province is decidedly in an amazing future journey of digital transformation. And we thank you, sir, for your leadership. We would like to thank the leadership of Northwest Province as a whole for the opportunity to partner and for the opportunity to showcase what we as humanity can do if we drive digital transformation in the right way. I want to make a few points. The first is to just share our excitement and our hope and trust that this province is not going to be the same again. Because we know at the center of transformation for every government department, for every economy, for every company, lies in the middle of it, digital transformation. Why? Because everything that we do today includes and involves some kind of technology. It doesn't matter what you do. You may be doing banking, you may be interacting with the state, you may be doing whatever. At the center of it is, in fact, some kind of digital technologies. And we are proud to be associated with the province that's forward-looking, that's creating the foresight to understand that this is the future, and therefore you have to invest in it. I also want to share my enthusiasm on the opportunity to partner with the people of Northwest Province to really shape the future of our young people. Because at the center of transformation, as I've indicated, is technology. It therefore means that we have to give our people the knowledge, the know-how of how these technologies can be utilized so that we can create a sustainable future of our children. It is true that we live in the age of AI, and the AI threatens to dislodge our people from what they do every day. We have an option. We can be a follower and maybe get dislodged in the process of following, or we can get ahead of the curve and actually skill up our people now, as we know that the future of our world is in fact going to be driven by men working alongside machines. We need to ensure that our people don't fear the machines, that they embrace them, and that they know how to work alongside them, and they know how to control them. This is the future that's unfolding before us as we speak. So the opportunity for us is to work with the people of the province and ensure that they aren't left behind. That is not people from Gauteng that come here to enable you as the province, but to enable yourselves. The last point I want to mention is the opportunity for us to build real businesses here in the province of Northwest by taking companies that are here because our young people are smart, our young people have the know-how, our young people are enthusiastic, they want to do amazing things. And we, together with the province, we Microsoft, together with the province of Northwest, are partnering to bring SMME development here in the province, where we skill up your people, your kids, your children, to learn how to build businesses out of Microsoft technologies so that we can actually use those same people that are born here in the province that can now actually enable this digital transformation that the Premier spoke about. Not importing skills from elsewhere, but using your very own and actually enable them to drive development. Because when one kid builds a company, he or she will employ 100 people. Before you know it, it's 1,000 people. And those people feed their families in numbers. And this is what excites us as a company, because we believe this is an amazing opportunity to partner with you as a province, to partner with you, Mr. Premier, to really help drive meaningful economic growth that is grounded at grassroots level through the use of our technology. With that, thank you so much, Mr. Premier, and thank you to everyone.
Thanks to you as well for those important remarks, Ntate Mqadi. Ladies and gentlemen, over to you now, members of the media. Are there any questions that you would like to ask? The platform is yours. I will start with Oba King. I know that he's waiting for someone else. Let me start with you, Obi. The stage is yours.
My name is Obake Maje from the Guardian newspaper. The first question is, Premier, you explained that you're going to provide training to the employees of this province or for the provincial government. How long that training will take? Is there any certificate that will be provided to them? And then the second one, you mentioned that the initiative will assist in payment visibility. We understand that recently there were some scandal that we reported about at the Northwest Department of Education, where unfortunately 100 million was lost or paid to ghost employees. So are we not going to see the same thing happening? Because it seems that their system wasn't working properly. So still on that issue, isn't this maybe replicated in other departments? What happened at the Department of Education isn't replicated in other departments? And the last question is, we understand that internet connection in rural areas
elaboration on the budget that has been spent in the implementation of the strategy. When we're talking about the training thereof, how much has been spent, and I understand that there will be further training as well. How much will be spent on the softwares and hardware that will be used. And I want to understand how this is actually going to be translated in the affordance of service delivery. Will this then also be seen implemented in local government municipalities, particularly when we look at the reportage of service delivery shortcomings and the like? How will our people necessarily benefit from this in terms of service delivery? And I appreciate Obakeng's question about systems glitches. I mean, this has been seen even in the Department of Transport with the non-payment of service providers for scholar transport and the like. We've seen systems glitch at the detriment of those who are supposed to benefit. So how far different will this implementation be? Thank you.
Very good questions indeed. Let's go to the third one, and then Butiachi will be the last one. Naledi News.
Thank you. My name is Kumo Monde from Naledi News. My question to you, Premier, is will this advancing of digital transformation include implementing online application system so that we are able to apply online, and how will that affect people in the rural areas, as Obakeng has alluded? And also, will this process, or if this process of digital process is implemented, will applicants be provided automated acknowledgement of their applications, and will they also get supply of unsuccessful candidates feedback so that they are able to know what went wrong for them to be able to apply? And yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good question as well. Achi? The veteran journalist.
Bagolo ke a dumedisa.
Monna o itse ke premier.
Ke a dumedisa bagolo ke ne ke nna Achi ba beile ke tswa ko au tlile dikgang. Ke ne ke tlhoka go botsa premier gore gantsi dilo tse dintseng jana ha di diriwa baagi ba na le tsholohelo e ntsi tota. Yaanong ke tlhoka go itse gore o ka re o ka e dira bonolo gore ha o bua ka digital transformation ntle le go katisa baagi kgotsa bašwa, pharologanyo e re tla e bonang go tloga jaanong jana go ya ko pele ke pharologanyo ya mohuta mang? Kore le tla re ha re okay ha le tlhabala ka moso ya maabane go ne go launchiwa digital transformation letsatsi le tlhabile ya maabane le lentsi ya pharologanyo e baagi ba tla e bona ke ya mohuta mang? E nngwe ke ya ga mokhuruthagama mogolo wa Microsoft nka tswelela pele ke ya gore ke eng se se ngwekileng kgatlhego ya Microsoft go tla mo provinceng? Ke eng go le botlhokwa gore Microsoft e bone gore e tle mo provinceng? Lwa go bona jalo le Microsoft matsapa a lona a na le mosola, lwa go lemoga ka eng ntle le go katisa baagi, ntle le go katisa bašwa, se re tla se bonang se ama thebola ditirelo ke eng se se tla bontshang gore maabane go ne go sena Microsoft gompieno e teng? Pharologanyo go baagi ke a lebogang kgonne ga di a hella mme ga nke ntsha boloko jotlhe a kere.
No, nna ke go neile tšhono gore ntshe boloko jotlhe yaanong ke wena o di sa itile go sa bontshe botlhe. Thank you very much for the great questions. Some of them are technical. The G2 from the Office of the Premier is here. G2 is Government Information Technology Officer, who is based in the Office of the Premier. At the technical level is the man who is driving this digital transformation. I will afford him an opportunity to respond. Thereafter, when the Premier deems it fit to cement his responses with the broader political flair for the benefit of the residents who are his constituency, he can do so. Over to you, Gito, and then thereafter, Vugani will also come. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Dona Kgolo, the CEO of Microsoft South Africa and the leadership of Microsoft, colleagues that are here with us today, and the media at large. My name is Tato Matsepe. As Renzo Sitswambung has said, I'm the Government Information Technology Officer for Northwest Provincial Government. In simple terms, the CIO. In private sector, we call it the CIO. All right, the number of questions that were asked, I'll start with the one, training. There's a process after you implement a project that we call a change management process. You would understand that as a province, we've had an environment where we've been running legacy systems for quite a long time. When Brian started here, he spoke about group-wise. We're probably the only province in this country that was still on that old email technology. So we've now migrated into full Microsoft, that it means now our whole entire staff is now using Outlook. But the issue that we're dealing with and that we'll be dealing with in terms of training will not be limited to just Outlook, but it is the digital skill of all government employees. One of the things that was not given attention, and which is why we have the digital transformation strategy, is how then do we make sure that our staff, all across 12 departments, they have the digital skill to interact with technology. So over the next 24 months, there will be training across all different stacks and technologies at Microsoft. So whether it's Outlook, whether it's Word, whether it's SharePoint, Copilot, and all of those from an AI perspective. So we will be, over the next 24 months, be focusing on now dealing with enabling and building the capability and capacity around digital skills. Some of these trainings will be in-house trainings, and some of them will be certified, which means they will get a certificate. For example, our IT teams are going to undergo a different training in this partnership with Microsoft, because they come from an environment where they were managing legacy systems. It means some of them would have had done a qualification a long time ago that was allowing them to support a certain environment. But as we transition into new modern technologies and cloud and so forth, when we train them, it means they have now an opportunity to be developed and trained on new technologies and get certification and certificates for that. And for our employees, it will be the same thing. So where they do training that Microsoft will deem that for this training you will get a certificate, so that you are capacitated from a digital enablement perspective. Microsoft will do that. So there'll be a combination where there's in-house training where we train all our staff, and then there'll be training where certifications and certificates will then be provided. But I think what we also need to note is that this training will not only end with the staff. In our partnership with Microsoft, this training, as the CEO was saying, will then extend to the citizens. So there will be training for the youth, there will be training for women, and so forth. So Microsoft will be running those programs as part of their contribution to this partnership and investment that we've done as a province with them. The issue around the systems and so forth, there was an example made with money being lost in systems, and is this not replicated? That is why we are in this journey, for us to strengthen our systems, for us to transform our systems, so that we don't have such things happening. Those things would have happened because maybe we were on legacy systems, but we are moving into a new environment. The Premier has alluded to the endpoint protection technology that Microsoft has given us. So through that technology, we now have protected from a cybersecurity perspective our environment. We have early detections and are able now to manage every device or every username that gets into our network. We are then able to manage that. And further to that, Microsoft has given us, as part of the solution, what we call Purview, where we can classify information, monitor exactly what information is shared across our network, what is leaving our network and what is staying in our network. So we shouldn't have a repeat of those going forward. We trust that Microsoft has come into this partnership with that solid security. When it comes to internet connectivity, it is a challenge. And it is when the Premier finished his address, he addressed the issue of broadband. Because as much as we've built the systems, at the end of the day, we then need to look at the infrastructure layer. We know that we have a challenge in terms of connecting our people, because we are quite fragmented as a province. So we are working on a broadband project. The phase 1 analysis of it has been done, where we are looking at alternative technologies, because it's going to be impossible for us to run a fiber from Mabatu to Tsidila Molomo. But we can use other technologies to provide connectivity to people like in Tsidila Molomo, Ramatlabama, and so forth, to be able to connect to this infrastructure. So that is the infrastructure that the Premier was saying we are working on, and budget permitting, if we get money, then we will then go to that next step. But these services, we are then making sure that we work on such technologies so that the people sitting somewhere at home will be able to access these services. That's what we're working on. The issue around how much will be spent on training, Microsoft is here. I'm sure the CEO was looking at me to come and answer that, because I'm going to answer it from a province perspective. So we don't expect to pay money on training, because we've invested in the technology. So it means, CEO, as we agreed, our youth are going to be trained for free. It means our employees are going to be trained for free, because it's an onboarding exercise. We've invested as a province, and it's only fair for Microsoft to come to the party to help us with the adoption and enablement. So CEO is smiling there. So we're not going to spend any money on training, because we've invested already, and which is what we appreciate as part of the strategic partnership. How will our people benefit from the system and the setup thereof? At the end of the day, if you don't transform, your people will be affected. It means our people currently are coming into our offices, there's no real-time access to information. When somebody comes and says, I have not been paid, somebody has to speak to somebody has to speak to somebody has to speak, and then to inquire on a payment takes 2 to 3 days, sometimes 5 days. Now, with the systems that we have deployed, starting with SmartGov, where we started with the CFO units, when the SMMEs there are following up on payments through invoice tracking, just by one click of a button, in less than a minute, you can get information as to where your payment is and who needs to do what. So these are some of the little impacts that you will see as part of this transformation journey and these systems that we are deploying. Quotation management. Instead of people in supply chain having to sit and after evaluations and so forth, having to deal with things on a one-by-one, on a paper base, everything will be on a system. Once they have captured the responses, everything is automated from there. Approvals are going to be quicker. So from a service delivery perspective, you're looking at a quicker turnaround time. That is how the ultimate citizen is going to benefit. Of course, we are going through SmartGov phase by phase. The first phase was to look at the sourcing part, so that we enable the digital economy, so that people are able to, the RFQs and so forth, we can fast track that process and have that impact on delivery. And then as we go, we will then get to a stage where we are now going to enable what we call the citizen engagement platform, where now citizens will then be able to interact with government digitally. But that's part of the transformation journey. For you to get there, you first need to get your house in order, make sure that the technology internally, the people know how to use it, it's set up properly, so that now when you launch and go external, as people now start using the systems, our staff has the capability and the capacity to be able to deal with that. So I don't know the question around online applications. Was it around employment, or was it around bidding? Employment. So we are in the process of digitizing employment in the province as part of this digital transformation journey. I think soon the Premier will be announcing that as well, where entire recruitment process will be digitized, from application to shortlisting to until the person is employed, where a person signs an offer to a job, the system automatically to go back. And we know that the challenge in government is that you apply and you never know what happens to your application. So through these systems, that's the impact that it will have. When the shortlisting is done, you will be able to know that I'm shortlisted. Right there, the one who was not shortlisted would then know. So that line that's on the advert that says, if you don't hear from us after so long, whatever, consider, will not have that anymore. Technology is now going to allow us, when the shortlisting is done, you get immediate response to say you didn't make it. And if you didn't make it, there will be reasons, of course, from the system to say you didn't make it because is it qualification, is it this, is it that, so that you know what to improve on, so that next time when you apply, you know what to correct. So that is the impact and that the system will bring. I think the difference that a normal citizen will see, what this digital transformation journey that we're getting into over the next 5 years, I think the difference that the citizen will see is their experience of government. I've always said, as the JITO office within the office of the Premier, what we want a citizen to be able to engage with government in the most minimal time as possible. If I need to get an update on something, I need to know that when I go to the offices, I will be able to get information in real time, because we are moving into an environment where we want to provide real time access to data, so that whoever that you are speaking to that is helping you in government, who's a government official, they must simply go into the system and be able to assist you without you having to wait for somebody to ask somebody to ask somebody, and then only 5 days later you get a response. So their experience of government will change. And then once we get to the end of the project, their experience of engaging with government will change. Because processes where people have to apply for things, we want an environment where you don't have to spend money that you should be spending on food, spend it on a taxi to go and try and apply for something. So if there's something you need to apply for, it's social development, we want to enable that environment that you can, at the comfort of your own home, with the little data that you have, you can just go and upload an application for a job, to open a creche, or to whatever that any government services department will be providing as a service. So that is the impact, and that is what the citizen will see as part of this transformation. It's a transformation we call it a 2030 vision, starts from 2025 to 2030. So in this process, we will then be going. So that full on impact, we'll see it 2030, but we are building up, and this is the start of it. I hope I answered all the questions, that were addressed.
Thank you, and Tate Matsipe. And to respond to some of the questions that have been raised by members of the media, of course I can't respond to some of them because they are very related to the matters that I'm not familiar with in the province. But I will, of course, touch on those that kind of make that we're close to. So there was a question around training. And how long will that process take? And the provincial JITO here, Mr. Matsipe, has provided a very clear answer, I thought, because this is a change management process. It's not a once-off activity. When you are implementing a new system, you go through phases. These phases include training, and depending on the role, the training differs. So, for example, you can imagine that the people who are maintaining and controlling the systems will receive different training from the users. Yeah. So this is what the process we're engaged in. We're engaged in a very strong process of communication where we share clearly the information that needs to be known by the users and by the people who are controlling the information. So we also go through a very structured process of, let's call it, we like to do skilling in small bites. because people are busy. Yeah, so we understand this, and we share information on a regular basis, but in bite size, so that they can get it and drive it. So usually it's not a short exercise like a week or two. It usually happens over a longer period of time, sort of like a 6 to 12 months sort of time frame, and to provide really good skilling that enables the people who are entrusted with the capabilities to know the capability, to know how to use it, and to know how to use it effectively. So this is what we aim for. On the question around the benefits of the solution, there was a question around how will the product bring value to the citizen. The way I like to think about digital transformation is that it's not, when you think about these phases, first phase was moving from paper-based processes to digital processes, where you are actually executing the same process but through at least an automated computer-based platform. This is the wave we are still in, and we're still driving with the provincial department. But like I mentioned, the future of these business processes is that, can you imagine a world where you didn't have to go to the Department of Transport to apply for your license, and you can do this from the comfort of your home? And this calls for reimagining. It's no longer taking a process that exists and just make it better. It's taking a business process that's there and put it aside and say, how can we think about this differently? How could we enable someone sitting at the comfort of their home to actually apply for a driver's license, and a couple of days later it lands at their door without having had to leave? This is the future that we live in now. I mean, I go through around many countries, and in the UAE, for instance, everything is done on a automated way. Absolutely, 100%. You want to pay for your fines, you do it online. You want to apply for a passport, you do it online. Whatever you need. But that's the world that we are imagining, that this digital transformation will shape for the province, and not just for the province, by the way, even for the country. This starts in here with what we are trying to do in the province and scaling it, of course. I want to maybe touch on a little bit on the question around online applications. What we are seeing here, and I'm not 100% sure where we are in the journey here in the province, but what we are seeing here is a significant opportunity where, if you think about the recruitment process today, we fill in the Z83 form. And you can imagine that when a department receives Z83 forms, it's not 2, it's thousands of them for one job. And they have to sift through manually through paper to figure out who are the, out of that 1,000 or 2,000 forms that they receive, who are the 200 or 100 or 20 that they want to interview. And it's really a tough exercise, as you can imagine. The tools give us an opportunity now to sift through that very quickly and identify the top 10 or the top 5, and you can go and interview those. And the rest of the people that didn't cut it, you send them communication via WhatsApp or via email and let them know. And that's how the process of driving employment activities will unfold henceforth. And I guess the last point I wanted to touch on is what Archie asked, which relates to what attracted Microsoft to the province and why we wish to invest here as a company. So we've identified a number of provinces where we really believe we can add significant value, and Northwest is one of those. Because the opportunity here is you had legacy, so there's an opportunity to scale and drive significant improvement from a technology adoption standpoint. That's the opportunity, but most importantly is to make this work for the citizens of Northwest. So we are contemplating a scenario where with this investment, not only, as I was saying earlier, not only can we skill and help skill the the leadership of the province and the people inside government to be able to use technology smartly and to really reap significant benefits out of, like I was explaining, in terms of automating business processes, but also to reach masses of citizens of this province, so we can really create an opportunity for them to be better off. Now, we know that technology drives this ability for citizens to be better off, and if we partner like we have with the province, we really believe that we can drive significant opportunity for the people that live in the province to be better off, because they have the skills, they have the opportunity to learn, and we are willing to make the investment as Microsoft to create that skilling and generate value for the people in the province. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. I think, let me respond to the issue here, education that you referred to, yeah, the ghost employees. We'll not get into that debate, but how are the ghost employees? It's a systemic issue, and it's exactly what we want to avoid. Where somebody also go down go madipelesa. This person wants to come to Mahikeng, he can't or she can't come, or romela something go district or go sub-district. This thing if it mo Mafikeng, as it's a natswile mo mosebetsing. The salaries tsa babereki di load you 15 days before the actual salary comes out. The money is already loaded. By the time when you resigned, effectively, the money is in your account. Now, it's exactly that part that we are trying to address, to have a reliable, detectable, and auditable, and a very responsive system. At the press of a button, stops everything. If you resign today and it's populated of your resignation, it stops everything. So it's intended to address some of those issues, and that's why I wanted to respond to that. In terms of, they responded to issue your training, it's an on-job training. So obviously certificates for attendance and other related will be issued. But, you know, when you go to Haron, there is what is called HCI, the server, where data is captured, their government. Now, it's a very outdated system, and it's exposed to serious risk. Now, what we have done, we are now on cloud. We are on cloud. We are on cloud. Remo. You are very outdated. We can't allow that to happen. So we operate at another level. Now, the CEO was just making another example on application for argument's sake. The other day we advertised, I don't remember, for the learnership or the internship. You know, we received close to 9,000 applications. It shows even the level. Now, in I don't remember Rebota. We just wanted, I think, around 50 or 60 of them. Now, there's a system that is called Copilot. I just want to make a typical example. When you take those applications and you populate them, those 9,000, then you tell the system your criteria. You just tell it, this is the criteria, you must have metric, you must have this and the whatever. Then you say shortlist. It shortlists and it gives you 20. and then you immediately say, can you tell this everybody reasons for not being shortlisted? Communicates. So we are there. We are at another level. We are at another level. It will tell them at the point of a speech to say, you are not shortlisted and the reasons are the following. Now we've got 20 that we can work on. So I'm just saying we are there. Now, what will be different in this instance is exactly what I'm referring to. But the important thing for me is accountability, it's fairness, it's transparency, which is part of what is in the Constitution and what we must do, especially on the procurement part of. We want to reduce an element and automate what we are doing. It's also going to address the issue of response, because government is accused of not responding on time. And we are always saying to people, we are a responsive government. But you can't demonstrate how are you responsive. So we are saying we want to be accountable, we want to be responsive, we want to be transparent. But it also assists on the turnaround time of how we do things as government. When we say in terms of Batopel, our standard is we want to give response in 48 hours, in 7 days, and so our turnaround time will also be improved. But also monitoring and evaluation of the work. It's important. Now, the system will also address the issue of monitoring, which over and above, it's about oversight, which I must do, which MECs must do. So it's important that those will be the differences that we are going. So the issue is efficacy and efficiency. That's what's going to drive what we are doing. And I'm saying we're very interested in that part. But also, I like this thing of wanting to train young people in this province. I want young people. What we have, we've got young people who are having qualifications in ICT and so on and so on. They've got companies that they've opened, but what they do, they just sell laptops and so on. We want to identify them, build them into serious ICT companies. One day when I'm old and then there is this fellow who is a millionaire and he was started by myself, I'll die being a happy man. And that's what will drive me. Because that's why when I started, I was a teacher, because if I've taught somebody and he's a doctor, I'm happy, I'm rich. So that was important to me. So if one day we'll have millionaires coming out of this, what you are doing today, I'll die being a happy man, so that we build these young people who are not just selling computers, but who are bringing solutions of the challenges that we are having. And they are here in the province. We must build them here. We must not have people coming from Gauteng. So Microsoft's responsibility is to build the capacity in the province. So we are going to identify young people who are in ICT business and they are prepared to be cushioned, to be trained, built into formidable business enterprises. So that's what we are going to look into. And I think all of us must accept that the AI is the way to go. Technology, it's here, it's alive. We must as a province. We are now actually trying to eliminate paperwork. You know, when I was an MEC for social development, I went around going to offices. Aki fitla ku di office, go di box mo di passage mole. Ke re mara go diragalang go. Diawa. Ba re no ke re ke eng dilo tse. Ba ke re no ba re ke tse ha ke se ba bidiwa eng ha ba tsama go matlung ba profile di ba malapa bana mangwa bereka manga bereki di granta di ha ba tswa go ke di pampiri di tletse mo di box. Ha re e ke ya leng ke tsa 2015 tsa 2005 tsa e ke do tse di etsang. System ya rona also ya disposal also is becoming a challenge in government. Now, you must eliminate paperwork. I then ask them simple question. Why are we not just buying laptops for batho ba ba tsamayang ba ba dirang this house visit, ba capture information. So ba kwala ka pampiri, ba boela ko officing, ke gona go tlang go typiwa and so on. You can't work like that in a modern society. Senkere gana go tlhabologa ha le hatse le tsamaya kgakala where we are. So this province, so we can't accept some of these things. And we believe somebody must start. But also there was a challenge here, cyber systems in this province. The same HCI that I spoke about was exposed. No backup in terms of information in government. It's not backup. Whatever or there's nothing. So what we are doing now is also to protect the integrity of data of government. That's what we are doing. So lastly, we will be able also to expand this and include what now is called public participation process through the apps, where people can also participate with government and speak to the premier life, get connected, stay in the office. I speak to the people of the Northwest on any other matter. Also, it goes to a point where service delivery issues are reported, and there is also a turnaround time and response, and integrate government in terms of ensuring that the office of the premier consolidate service delivery issues and even reporting back to the people who complain within the specified period. So those are the issues that we want to address. Gore dire government gore e berekele batho botoka ka the necessary speed, ibile e matlafatse e dire their lives much easier and much better. Thank you very much. That is Tom.
Thank you very much, Ntate Vukani. Thank you, Premier. Butia chikitsela gore Premier wa isimegile akere. O go arabile sentle ka mokgono ka eletsa ka teng akere nkgonne. Ke a leboga. O batla engwe gape round obi. E one fela akere. All right. Get last question. E botse ka bonako re batla go tswalela yana.
Thank you. Rest of the question Premier, how are we going to ensure sustainability? Because ke tla gopola gore ka fifth administration Premier na tsene bona bua senteng le ena re ka ra bona photolo we fota o romela e ka go banka mara ha se ke go dira gale seo. So sustainability e ha kae? And then ha ke gore a re ke re motsepe or matsepe o buile ka vision 2030. So I wanted to ask, how long is this partnership? Yeah, Microsoft office software, the provincial government. Lastly, are we going to see this initiative being implemented on advertising? Meaning, are we going to see the Northwest Provincial government now advertising online in the future? Thank you.
Thank you. And then also there is a a reporter from City Report newspaper, Teis Kiba Are. He wants to understand what is the budget set aside for the entire transformation, digital transformation journey in the province. Ntate Matsipe.
All right, maybe starting with the budget, as I said earlier, this is a long-term journey. So every time we go from one phase to another, we then scope it and request budget for that. So at this point in time, it will be very difficult to say the whole journey will cost so much, because you scope it as you go and then you cost it as you go. And then on the issue sustainability, I think from the approach now, that's why we said re simula pele ka to fix the house internally, so that because it doesn't help for me to give you a citizen engagement app when internally the processes or the infrastructure is not geared up for that. So even if you take a picture of that pothole and send it, where is it going to? So you first have to fix internally so that in future you don't have those challenges. So that's why we said, for now, we're not going to, the citizen engagement is part of the last phases once we have sorted out the internal systems, the infrastructure, and so forth. I'm hoping that covers it all, right? The partnership here, Microsoft. Partnership here, Microsoft, like any other partnership within government, we are on a 3-year contract with any IT service provider. If needs be for renewal at that time, the renewal will happen. If there's another Microsoft that wants to take off this Microsoft after 3 years, let it be. But it's governed by Treasury regulations. Online advertising, in what sense? That's why ke re di advertising ke ya gago le restaurant bo ke tsa gore offline o tla go tsa sentle. All right, thank you.
When I'm sustainability, we must sustain the project, and it is exactly why the public participation. We avoid the same mistake. So, but when we started, we learn from the previous mistakes that were done. So we are on a learning curve. We will then improve, and we hope to be able to sustain. But it's important that we must know that nothing ventured, nothing gained. And if Obata Khudira something, you must be prepared to pay. That's important. Or otherwise, you don't pay, you remain the same. And that's the principle of life. What you put in life is directly proportional of what you get out of life. How lema ditamati, kotla tswa ditamati, khandila go tswa matapole. If you bata matapole. Thank you very much. All right.
No, Premier, you have summed it up very well, very, very well. I don't know, because I'm closing now. Please mention the upcoming Northwest ICT Summit. Okay? You can mention it.
Okay. All right, so in the interest of time, in June this year, we will be having what we call the Northwest Digital Transformation Summit. So in that summit, that's where we will invite all the IT companies to come and showcase. It to be a platform for our youth, for our entrepreneurs, to come and showcase as well what they are doing. And together we'll then be looking at this 2030 vision. How then are we going to make it impactful across the province? So the Digital Transformation Summit, which will be the first of its kind in Northwest, is also coming as part of this. So the rest of I'll keep up to date on that. So that is going to be one of the groundbreaking initiatives that is going to showcase how these technologies are going to impact the province. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jito. So you will be invited, ladies and gentlemen, to that summit so that you cover it, but you see for yourselves some of those groundbreaking initiatives that will be part of the digital transformation journey. And the Premier will definitely be there to render an address as well and update citizens about that progress. Thank you so much. I believe that the speech has been shared with you by now, the Premier statement. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Re go share se ka WhatsApp. Re lebogile ba gaetsho, re lebogile.